It's 1 a.m. and I should probably be sleeping for work tomorrow, but I guess I just thought, why don't I record my review of the concert before I sleep? And I know I sound tired, but I just really want to talk very comfortably about the concert. And I'm doing it in English because I guess at the end of the day, I do feel more comfortable speaking in English. And when I recorded the Korean reviews, I actually, the first one was more impromptu, but the second one I had to plan. I did a bit of planning, and my friends know that that's rare for me. So I planned out the topics that I wanted to mention because I didn't want to talk endlessly, rant, or hesitate too much. But speaking in English, I think I'll be fine. I think I might rant a bit because I feel comfortable. But I think because I feel comfortable, I will know what to talk about, and that'll just lead to the next topic very naturally. So, enough of this intro, and let me get into it. So, I went 2 days, no, actually, I went yesterday. Wow. So many things have happened since then that it feels like more than a day ago. So, I went yesterday. I actually spent the day in Seoul with some friends, and then I met another friend to go to this concert with, and I went with her because she is older than me, and she knows the artists that came out yesterday. The artists that came out yesterday were actually pretty old. Like, they were older than Song Si-young. They were like some of the legendary classic ballad and rock ballad like artists in Korea. So I think I specifically wanted to go with this friend because she was older, and so we had a lot in common in terms of music. And it was a great time. I really want to just, let loose and talk about all the details that I want to. And so if I start from the beginning, we got there a bit late actually, and I hate going to concert venues late, like really hate. And as much as I'm a P, sorry, talking about MBTI, but as much as I'm a P, I am a huge J when it comes to like concerts and shows. And I know my J friends will probably say, you saying you're a J is evidence that you're a P, and I'm pretty sure they plan way more than I would ever plan. But for me, like, I have to always go there early and get in the venue super early. I really don't like the anxiety of being late to something like as huge as a concert where you might miss the first song. I think that's like terrifying for me. But things happened and we were running kind of late, but despite everything, we got in, and the moment we sat down in our seats, like finding our seats were hard because the stadium was dim by then. They turned some of the lights off, and our seats were like we had to go around the walkway of the second floor because we couldn't find the proper entrance. We had to get into this different entrance and walk all the way to our seats. And thankfully our seats were in the center, so we walked and then we got to our seats. And oh my gosh, so this is amazing, but our seats were like, so you go down the walkway and our seats were right in front of, like, I don't know if I have to say in front or back, but I guess I'll add a photo to show you a picture. But our seats were like right next to the walkway, right? So you walk down through the walkway and you don't even have to walk up the stairs to get to the seats because our seats were like the second row. So walk down the walkway. Man, I'm really talking too much about the walkway, aren't I? We walked down the walkway, and then so we went up like one stair to the second row, and then our seats were at the end of the row. So it was our seats were at the end of the row, but the end that's closer to the center. So the left side, not the right side. So sitting down was just so easy. And oh wow, it was just so easy. Like we didn't have to push through to get to the middle or anything. We just sat down at the end. And the moment we sat down, both my friend and I were like, wow, the stage actually feels closer than what the photos of the stadium seating showed. But that's always the case. You look at this floor chart, you look at the stadium seating, and you always think that your seats are so far back. Well, not you, but I personally always think, oh man, these seats are so far back. What if we don't see anything? But once you get there, once I get there, I always realize that, wow, these seats are great. Like the stage feels so much closer than what the photo signified, what the photo I can't English today. But you know what I mean? When you get there, it seems so much more closer. So the stage it felt closer. It was closer to the center, close to the walkway, so you didn't have people like blocking your view in front of you, although I know it's like steep, the seating, slanted. In all, we just loved our seating. And crazy thing is, I wasn't even really planning to get those seats. Like when I did ticketing for this concert doesn't have fan club pre-ticketing because Song Si-kyung is so he cares a lot about fairness. He always cares a lot about doing the right thing. Like he's very, very very serious about that. Like he needs to do the right thing and be very polite and just, like very fair. So he told us at the last concert, or was it the fan meeting? I can't remember, but he told us that with this concert there can be no fan pre-ticketing because it's not just his concert. He's inviting so many other artists, and those artists' fans will also want to come to the concert. And after going to the concert, it made so much sense because he sings like one solo song at the beginning and at the end, and then every other song he sings a duet with the artist, and then the artists themselves by themselves sing like one or two songs. So it made perfect sense. So Song Si-kyung is like very logical, very rational, and very fair. And if he believes that something is wrong, he will never do it. If he believes something is right, he will do everything to do that. Yeah. And he also really treats loyalty very importantly. To him, it's very important to be loyal to the people he's close to. Anyways, I'll rant about his personality and how great he is later. So we sat down in our seats, loved the seating, and then like a minute later the concert started, so it was perfect timing. I think the first song he did was his so I just realized every concert he does, I've been to 3 so far this year, every concert he does, he starts with 너의 모든 순간. Oh my gosh, I might even be getting the title wrong, but I can't say much because I actually don't like the song that much. And the biggest reason is because it's way too overplayed. It's been way too overplayed. It's like so overplayed that I'm just sick of it. it's a good song. It's great. Like the melody, the lyrics are amazing. He made the song, by the way. He composed it. But you know when a song is just way too overplayed, it loses its specialness. That's what I feel with songs. So he sang that song in the beginning, which was nice. And then the first guest, I actually didn't know. But his song was nice, and I recognized his first song. It's pretty famous and like a classic. I recognized it. I'd heard it before, but I still can't say the title. And I don't even remember the artist's name, I'm sorry. But yeah, he started it. I could tell that he was quite a 선배, from the way Song Si-young was treating him. So he started the two songs, and it was, oh my gosh, one thing I have to mention is Song Si-young doing backup. Like, this was, I can't even the moment so after he sang the duet on stage with the guest, he like walked to the back while the guest remained at the center, and the guest sang his own song, right? And I was wondering where Song Si-young went. Actually at first I thought he went backstage to rest. But of course that's not who he is. Like, I think it was Kim Jong-seo, I can't remember, 이재훈, someone, was it 조장혁? Someone said that Song Si-young, before the concert, he went to every single guest's like waiting room and talked to them and like made sure they were comfortable. Like, that's so him. Like, if you get to know the kind of person he is a little bit, that is just exactly what he would do. He is very serious about being polite. I guess even as I say this though, I also know that he's the kind of guy who, if he doesn't feel that you are worthy of respect, he will just ignore you. So there are like stories of Song Si-young during debut era of like not even saying hello properly to 선배s because he was like, I don't like this culture. Why should I start, saying hello and being all polite to people I don't even know? So he was quite famous for being like that. But the good thing about him is that he's consistent. So people, if they were annoyed with him in the beginning, he never changed, so they would just be like, oh, that's who he is. But the thing is, if he believes you are worthy of respect, like if he likes a 선배 and he believes this 선배 is like very if the 선배 is like basically worthy of respect, does their job well, doesn't really get involved in things that Song Si-young himself believes in his value system are wrong, he will very much respect that person. Like, he will really go out of his way to respect that 선배, and he will stay loyal for a very long time. That's what I've noticed about him, realized about him. So I was like, I don't think he would go backstage. And then I saw this man in the backup chorus singing section with the other live band. There were like two women and then this guy sitting at the end. And I remember thinking, my first thought was that was Song Si-young, and I was like, oh my goodness, that's crazy attractive. What the heck? Song Si-young singing the backup, like the chorus. Oh my goodness, you don't understand the aspects of attractiveness that holds. I could list them, I could analyze them, and I probably will, but So it hit me and I was like, oh my gosh. And then after a few seconds, I was like, no, that can't be him. Would he really sit there with the other like backup singers? Would he really sit there with the session and really participate like that? And so I thought, no, it's just another backup singer who looks like him. But the camera kept focusing on him, and I realized it was Song Shi-kyung. And now I will go into the list, the list and the reasons of why that really got to me. It's just that, to me, that shows how serious he is about music, first of all, and how serious he is about music. Like, to him, music isn't about like being a singer, being a famous, popular singer with like tons of hit songs isn't about you standing out and you being always being the center of attention. To him, music and being a singer is more about making beautiful music with other talented singers. And to me, someone who can do that and someone who has that value system is so, they're just so, their mind is so wow, I really can't English today. Admirable. Yeah, that's the word. It's very admirable. There are so many, especially I think if you're a celebrity, I feel like you're so used to being the center of attention, and you're so used to having your own concert and having a ton of people like scream for you and love you and have a ton of fans. And the fact that Song Shi-kyung finds joy in sitting with the session and doing the backup vocals for his 선배 and 후배, I just find that so humble and upright and like very healthy minded. I feel like he's a very stable person without many insecurities. And he's mentioned this before, like many times. And you can tell whenever you watch videos of him that he is not an insecure person. Like, he is not. And I can't remember who it was. It was Psy. He was filming a 먹을 텐데 episode with Psy. And Psy was telling him that that he shares, back when Gangnam Style became so successful, he said, he was talking about how he used to share all his success stories with Song Shi-kyung. And there were success stories, but within those success stories, he had his own struggles, of course, and stresses that come with that success. So he would share all that with Song Shi-kyung. And he said he would share it with Song Shi-kyung because he knew Song Shi-kyung had zero insecurities and wouldn't feel insecure at his show of success. And I guess there are many, many reasons why I really admire Song Shi-kyung, but this is one of them. He's just so genuine and sincere about his job, about music, about ballads, and he's very open to working with other people. He's not insecure, so he can just work with anyone he wants. He can learn from people he needs to learn from. He can teach people when he wants to. That's the thing about him. He has many things that I don't have, let's just say, and I guess that's why I find him so admirable. But at the same time, he can be very picky, and he can be very cold, almost brutal, very logical as well. And I wouldn't exactly say he's like soft and warm-hearted at all times. He's definitely more strict and cold and very particular about things that he believes are important. Anyway, so yeah, he was in the chorus. He was singing back up, and wow, he looked really good, by the way. Like, I kept telling my friend next to me, I was like, isn't he handsome? My friend just smiled and looked at me like I was crazy. But yeah, so the first guest, unfortunately, I can't remember the name, although I'm sure he's legendary as heck. And then, because I haven't planned this recording, I didn't write down the list of people who actually came. So I guess I'll just talk from memory, and I think I'll focus my talk more on the people that really left a huge impression on me. And the first person I want to mention is Cho Jang-hyuk. Did I know him before Song Si-young? No. I think the first time I heard his song was actually through the person I used to date, and I'm kind of gonna talk about that person from time to time in this recording because, number one, he probably won't even be listening to this. I don't think he even looks at my channel. Number two, it's in English, and I'm not gonna add subs to the parts where I talk about him, so yeah. And number three, there is no number three. So yeah, so he and I shared a lot of music together, and I really, really liked his music taste. I think, in fact, how we got together, how we kind of developed those feelings towards each other properly after being friends for a while was through music. We started off by sharing playlists together, and I think I'm he's still okay. I think I'm talking a bit too much, but let's just say that one of his playlists, I think, had a Jo Jang-hyuk song, and he might not know this, but he did have a song, and I think it was Jo Jang-hyuk's song "Love," which he actually sang at the concert. So he started off with the duet that he sang with 성시경 that 성시경 uploaded on his YouTube, 중독된 사랑, and I actually really like that song. Like, I really, 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 really like that song. It's one of my favorite songs that 성시경 uploaded as a duet. I just love it. Like, I have always kind of liked Korean rock ballads, but like, oh my gosh, the duet that 성시경 uploaded is just perfect. Everything about that video is perfect. 성시경's first verse is perfect. 성시경's like 감정. Oh wait, this is becoming a bilingual recording. But 성시경's 감정, emotion. The way he sings the lyrics is just perfect. Not just in terms of musical quality, but just the way he sings songs, you can just feel the emotions. You can feel the lyrics. And then the way Song Si-young sings the chorus is even more perfect because most people haven't heard Song Si-young sing a rock ballad, and so Song Si-young singing a rock ballad is rare and really precious, and the way he sings the chorus is just like, it's a rock ballad, so it has the intense emotions of that genre, but at the same time, because it's Song Si-young singing, it has the softness and warmth and the really smooth vocal color. So you put those two together, how can it not be perfect? So already the first verse and the chorus are perfect, and then Jo Jang-hyuk 님 comes in, and of course he's already perfect. And the contrast between Song Si-kyung's kind of smooth, soft, sentimental vocals and Jo Jang-nim's really intense, like intense, really, what's the word, husky voice and very strong vocals. Like, the contrast is just beautiful, and you just sit there in wonder at how amazing their voices sound, both of them. And then Jo Jang-nim comes in with the second verse, and you're like, wow, no wonder he's legendary. Wow, he's amazing. Wow, what the heck? And just when you're thinking that, they sing the chorus together with Song Si-kyung putting in harmony, and that's when you just collapse, and that's when you thank everything in this world that these people exist. And this is my fangirl heart talking. It's just beautiful, and not just the harmonizing itself, but the way Song Si-kyung harmonizes. Like, there are many different ways to harmonize, right? But the notes that Song Si-kyung chose, oh my goodness. I can't imagine that song without that harmonizing anymore. Like, the chorus, and then like that part, like, I can't imagine with the song without that part anymore. Like, it's that beautiful. So I love that YouTube video, and they sang it live. I was actually, because with this concert, the company had posted the lineup early on, so I knew who was coming. And the moment I saw Jo Jang-nim's name, I like freaked out, and I was like, they're 100% gonna sing that song. I have to be there. And they did sing that song, and it was beautiful, just so beautiful. And then Jo Jang-nim sang Love, which is another very, very popular song of his. I really love both songs. And throughout the concert, they had many different screens, and they had 2 screens, one on the left side, one on the right side, showing the lyrics to every song, which I also so loved. I really, really loved how they showed all the lyrics, because Korean song lyrics are just so beautiful. And just being able to read and see how beautiful each word and each expression was while listening to their amazing voices was just pure happiness. And of course, throughout their entire concert, I was thinking about the person that I shared these songs with, and the lyrics. So before I met this person, before I dated this person, I was actually I just liked songs because they sounded good. And I liked good lyrics, but I couldn't really relate to many of them. And as a ballad lover, most lyrics are about love, like the beginning of a relationship, the start of love, or like being in an amazing relationship, but mostly it's about like breakup. But because I hadn't really experienced those stories, those emotions deeply, I loved ballads for the way they sounded. And I believed that their lyrics were beautiful, but I never felt the sadness that the lyrics actually portrayed. But yesterday I felt that, like, for the entire time. It was like every song was just so damn sad. And the lyrics were just so damn sad. And I never realized that before. I never thought that the lyrics were so damn sad before. But yesterday I was just sitting there listening to all these songs and looking at the screen, reading the lyrics, and I was like, what the heck? That's when I guess I thought, like, lyricists are amazing. How do you even take those sad emotions and make them into such beautiful words? I find that so amazing. And as I sat there relating to like all those words and feeling a ton of emotions, I have to mention 장혜진 님's songs. I think I felt almost the most emotional during this time. She came out, she looked beautiful, by the way, which Song Shin-young kept mentioning. Because I guess she doesn't wear, I mean, who wears stage clothes in their daily life? But he kept saying, like, she looks like a Disney princess. Imagine if she wore this every day. Oops. I feel like the aircon sound was in my recording till now. But it won't be in anymore. So if the sound is different, I am sorry, I guess. But anyways, so she came out, and I know her because I used to watch this singing survival show really back in the day when I was like in high school, called 나는 가수다. I'm a singer. And it was a show where they would bring like the legendary singers of Korea and make them participate in a competition and have like an audience that votes for like ranks the singers, right? And I think Song Shi-young didn't like that. I think like I feel like I heard that somewhere. Like how, like, it's the kind of mindset like, how dare you rank the legendary sambes of all of Korea. But that show was such a hit, and like even the legendary singers who were on that show would get super nervous, right? Because it's like on national TV. But she was one of the contestants for like the first season, I think. Second season, I can't remember which season it was, but she was definitely on that show. And I always knew her as a legendary singer, and she was so good on that show. But I never heard her live before, and I never had a desire to. And then the next time I heard her song was when I was exchanging playlists with him, and I can't fully remember, because we exchanged many different playlists, and I can't fully remember which one he put it in, but he put this song in. It's like, oh my gosh, the title is very long, but it's like 1994 something. But he put it in one of his playlists, and I remember listening to it, because with all his playlists, I would listen like really quietly. I would put earphones in, and then I would make sure the room is quiet and dark, and like have a full-on musical experience. And we would usually have minimum 5, like maximum 10 songs. It would be like a full-on musical experience. But when her song came on, I remember being so shocked, because it was such an emotional song. Like, I think there's only one instrument. Like, the instruments are very meager, which heightens the silent mood. And then you have her voice singing, and I still remember, like, even when I hear the track now, she sings as though she is that person. And like, I remember listening to that song during that playlist exchange day and thinking that I honestly thought that she made the song, because she was singing it with so much raw emotion. I don't think I'd ever heard a song where the singer sings with such raw emotion. And it was so raw because, you know, most singers, when they record their songs, they want their songs to sound completely perfect. Like, every single note has to sound perfect. And so they re-record, and then they even like cut, snip, and like put the good parts together, even like touch it up a bit to make it sound perfect, right? But I think, I guess this is why a part of me really loves old ballads, because back then they did less of that. And I think sometimes when you listen to old ballads, you can kind of hear that it's been recorded in like a long take instead of snipping. And I feel like back then, some songs, like some singers, uh, vocal like vocal skill wasn't as important as emotion, as delivering emotion. That's why a lot of old ballads feel so raw. Like the lyrics, the vocals, the melody, everything sounds so raw, as though that person has really gone through that experience. Yeah, that's pretty much why I like old ballads. But her song, the recorded version, you hear it and it's as though she's like crying while she's singing. It's just amazing. So much emotion, and with like every breath and every pause, every single like shaky breath or tune, like it's really as though she broke up and she had to leave, and she wrote this letter to her lover. And yeah, so they sang that duet together, and it was beautiful hearing that in Song Shin-young's voice, and it was beautiful hearing that in her voice. And then after that song, which I was very emotional throughout, after that song she sang another one of her songs called 아름다운 날들, I think. And this was the first time I'd heard this song, right? It was beautiful. Like I listened to it a few more times after the concert today as well. And it's a really nice song. And the thing about the concert and how the lyrics are on the screen is that for me, because the lyrics were on the screen, it's like, this is what happens with me whenever I listen to songs though, but I just live that song for that amount of time. Like, while she's singing and I'm reading the lyrics, in my mind, like a movie is playing, and she's the main character, and she's going through that experience, and I'm watching her go through that experience. And then a ton of like images flash through my mind, and yeah, literally a movie, not literally, figuratively, a movie is playing in my mind with the lyrics as a story. That's why I really loved reading the lyrics, how the lyrics were more emphasized. But it's a really beautiful song, and the lyrics kind of talk about how the girl, the main character, she was in a relationship with this guy, and well, it might not be a guy, of course, but she was in a relationship, and then she acted quite immaturely to him. Whenever she was kind of like sensitive or kind of sad or pouty, she would put it out on her partner, right? And she starts with that. That's like the first verse. And then the chorus is like that, talking about how those were the most beautiful days, and how he would accept everything. He would accept her everything, her poutiness, her frustration, her immaturity. And she was young back then, and she didn't know how to love properly, and he accepted her everything. And saying again, like, those were the beautiful days. Like, she can't get them back, but those were beautiful days. And I think she mentions that she'll never forget them. But like, the lyrics can sound a bit sad, but the melody itself and the song, the vibe of the song, the feel of the song, and the instruments are just so kind of, this is the kind of song I like. But it's so happy sad. It's so beautifully sad. It's so sad, but the melody is just so beautiful. And the melody almost seems uplifting and happy and hopeful, but the lyrics are so sad. Like, those are the songs I really love. And a lot of Korean ballads are like that, which I really like. So I really loved her. I really loved her stage. Um, I loved 조장혁님, I loved 장혜진님, and of course 백지영님. I'd seen like twice. Oh no, I saw her at the fan meeting, and she didn't come out at the 축가 콘서트. I think. Did she? Did she? Oh my gosh, I can't remember. But she sang the duet with Song Si-young, and then she sang her own song, which I really liked. I love that song. And then, oh my gosh, I wasn't expecting this, but she she sang 내 귀의 candy with Song Si-young, and I remember watching videos of this on YouTube, but oh my goodness, it was phenomenal seeing it live in front of my eyes. Song Si-young rapping, doing Ok Tae-hyun's part, and like dancing. It was hilarious and very attractive at the same time. So that was very, very entertaining and very, very endearing. They're really, really good friends, like you can tell. He really, really likes her. He really, like, they're both really loyal to each other. And he mentions that a lot. Like, he mentioned that she's such a loyal person. I think, which, you know, of course, loyalty, you can tell that loyalty is a very important trait and value for him. I'd say the next person that really stuck with me would be kyuhyun, and oh my, I have a lot to say about this. So 6 years ago, when I was in Korea briefly, I fangirled hard over kyuhyun. My friends would know, my family knows. I went hard. Like, I went to like all these musicals and all these concerts, went overseas for his concert. Yeah, I'm crazy like that. And then, so I listened to him live like a lot back then. So often that I could tell when his vocal condition, his vocal state was bad. And back then, like, there were days when he would kind of go off tune. Like, he couldn't find the exact note. Like, there were days. And I still liked him after that. After I left Korea, I still listened to his songs, but I think I stopped listening to his songs because I know the exact reasons. Like, most of the time when I have these like things to say, I actually know the exact reasons. Like, the thing is, kyuhyun's voice has changed a lot, and a lot of Korean fans know this. I don't think a lot of international fans know this, which is interesting because maybe it's a lyric thing. Like, maybe if you know exactly what the lyrics are saying, you can notice it more. But when kyuhyun first debuted, he had a very, very charismatic voice. It was kind of raw. Like, at the moment, everybody would say that kyuhyun's voice is so smooth and so like sweet, like honey, and like ballady and perfect for ballads, and so emotional, so sentimental. But back then, when he first had his debut, he was actually kind of raw and even a little like husky. He had this untamed side to his voice. It was not like, at the moment, I'd say his voice is like a very, very precious piece of like round crystal, and it's been rounded to perfection. That's what his voice is right now. It's been perfected, it's been sanded, it's been rounded, it's been made into this really, really pretty jewel that just like flows, and you can't really find anything that goes against this perfect, pearly flow. But before, when he first started singing, his voice actually had a bit of hint of rebellion in it. So now I'd say it sounds as though he makes every single note perfect. And like every single note has to be perfect and has to sound smooth. But back then, there was this rawness, untamedness, this like untrained rebellion feel in his voice that was just so charismatic. And so when he sang ballads with that voice, it was like, wow, whoa. And that's when I first started liking him and his songs and his voice. Because I like, Song Shi-kyung still has that, which is why I'm so thankful. I'm so thankful that Song Shi-kyung never got into musicals, because I have to say it's the musicals that started changing Kyuhyun's voice. Because in musicals, you have to sound more powerful, more stable, more perfect. You have to have like very high quality vocals. And so I think he kind of changed his vocal tone and his way of singing to suit musicals more. Because back then he was definitely not like that. So yeah, that's the voice I really liked. And the time when I felt like I really, really liked his voice was that voice. And then he started doing a lot of musicals. His voice changed. His song style became more limited. Like he started singing very similar types of ballads. And the only time I could hear that kind of raw, uncontained, rebellious side was only when he sang like Super Junior songs. But that would be so little. Like I would have to listen to all the Super Junior songs just to get that piece of old Kyuhyun, right? And so I started realizing that his recent songs weren't my style. Like they're too sad. Not only is the melody sad, the lyrics are sad, and his voice is sad. So those three things, I was like, this is way too sad to listen to. Like, if the lyrics are gonna be sad, the melody has to be hopeful, and if the melody and the lyrics are gonna be quite sad, then at least the voice has to sound not as droopy and drainy. So I actually on a daily basis, I actually don't listen to a lot of Kyuhyun songs. They're just so sad. And so I kept away from his songs for a while. Really got into Song Shi-kyung even more than before. But then Song Shi-kyung was always my daily playlist. Like I was always listening to Song Shi-kyung. I guess I just started going to his concerts. And when I came to Korea this time around, after I went through some hard times, I didn't think of going to Kyuhyun's concert anymore. I guess I felt like my Kyuhyun phase had ended. But oh my, when he when he came out and he started singing, I was shocked, because it's been like years since I've heard him live. If you think about it, years. And I was shocked because he sounded so good. He just sang so well. And I was like, wow. And the feelings kind of came back. And then I was like sitting there going, yeah, I really liked Kyuhyun. Just turn the aircon on again. And so they sang the duet, and then, which Song Shi-kyung made, by the way. And then Kyuhyun sang his, of course, most famous song at Gwanghwamun. And then he hugged Song Shi-kyung on the way back, which was so cute. Like I don't think I can express properly how happy I felt seeing both Kyuhyun and Song Shi-kyung together on the same stage. Like, the last time I saw that was 6 years ago when I went to Kyuhyun's concert and Song Shi-kyung came as a guest and they sang the same song. And I was just so happy seeing them together again. So yeah, 조장혁님, 장혜진님, kyuhyun, and then I would say 이재훈 from Cool. Of course, Aroha is a great song, And I really like Lee Jeong-nim's voice. It's so unique. I don't think there's anybody in Korea who has a similar voice to Lee Jeong-nim. And not only is it unique, he's been maintaining that tone for so many years, which I find so admirable and so amazing. Like that just goes to show how much he cares about singing and how much effort he puts into maintaining his voice and vocal tone. It's just whenever I think about Kura, I just think about like summer. They have so many nice summer songs. But oh my goodness. So the second song he sang by himself was 한 장의 추억, and I love this moment because 성시경 so Lee was talking about like his next song, and he started saying like a song that Song Shi-young really really likes. And the moment I heard that, I thought, could it be 한 장의 추억? 한 장의 추억 is so precious. I remember listening to their album back when I was like in university, and I was listening to their full album. I heard all their fast songs, all their fun songs, and then the last track was this really recorded song. Like it sounded so impromptu and recorded, which now I know was not impromptu. I think back then I kind of knew as well, because nothing, like who would release an impromptu recording? So they start talking together in that recording, and then he starts singing the song with only a piano and his voice. And I don't think it sounds like they didn't use a professional like studio mic. It sounds very raw. And I remember listening to that song and thinking, wow, this is so my style of ballad. I really treasured that song ever since then. And and the moment Lee Jeong-nim said this is a song that Song Shi-young really likes and requested for him to sing, I was like, could it be this song? And it was. And I think that's the moment I thought, wow, I swear, the balladers I like have similar music tastes. I think people who like ballads in general have a similar music taste. Like kyuhyun also likes those songs. Kyuhyun likes ballads. Song Shi-young likes ballads. And I'm so happy that Song Shi-young is a ballad singer, because thank God for Song Shi-young. Like, thank God that he decided to be a singer. Thank God that he's still singing. It's because he likes those songs. So he sings songs that he likes. And he makes songs that he likes. And he covers songs that he likes. And so if you listen to his Japanese song covers on YouTube, they're all so amazing, and they're also my style, because he likes those songs. He likes those kind of ballads. And even when kyuhyun, because whenever he goes overseas for a concert, he prepares like a song from that country to sing to his fans. And he always chooses like really nice ballads. I remember back in university when I was really into kyuhyun, I would download his Chinese and Japanese covers, but usually Mandarin covers, because he used to sing these really beautiful Mandarin songs, like really famous Mandarin songs that he would cover in his voice. And I'll just be like, dude, your 취향 is so 한결같아, and your 취향 is so my 취향. Honestly, I think I tend to like singers who like the same songs that I do. So, man, I can't remember what I was talking about. Oh, yeah. So he sang 한 장의 추억, and which was beautiful. Oh, by the way, there were a few moments where... No, never mind. I don't want to mention this. I don't think I'll edit this recording, actually. I think I'll just put it up as it is. Like, almost like a diary piece. Because I doubt anybody will be listening. And I doubt anybody got this far. If you got this far, I don't know what to say to you. You either have way too much time, or I don't know, you're practicing English or something, but I really don't think anybody got this far. So I loved 이재훈님. And then 김종선님, of course, 아름다운 구속 is a beautiful song. And then he sang one of his other songs, and it was nice hearing some like screaming. Actually, it was very cathartic. And then I thought to myself, is this why like people do like heavy metal? Anyway, and then 양희은님, who is absolutely legendary, she sang a few songs, right? She sang a duet with Song Shikyung first. It was a song that Song Shikyung made, and the song is actually so beautiful. Very, very beautiful. It was nice hearing it in Song Shikyung's voice. And then she sat down and sang one of her own songs, and it was so sad. Like, the title itself is sad. Like, 사랑 그 쓸쓸함에 대하여. The title is sad. The lyrics were sad. The melody was really sad. I think it was like minor. But it didn't feel like it felt like it was a good amount of sadness. Her voice was nice. Her voice is really nice. And I remember she mentioned on this show, so after Sing Again finished the survival show, and they had this I forgot the title. I forgot the name of the show, but after Sing Again finished, they invited some singers, and they started singing a lot of cover songs, and they would invite guests and stuff. But Yang Hyun-nim came out as a guest one day, and kyuhyun was singing a song, right? And then Yang Hyun-nim was talking about how she doesn't like it when singers I can't remember the exact wording she used, but what I understood it as was she doesn't like it when singers make their voices sound too pretty and like 간약 조절 too much when they sing, because to her it sounds fake. And I remember hearing that and really respecting her for that and really loving what she said, because I also don't like it when something feels fake or staged, or when emotions feel like scripted. And there are a lot of songs, and there's so many singers who, of course, it's good to make sure your voice sounds perfect at all times, because you're recording the song and it's gonna stay as that recording forever. But I don't know, there's just this huge charm and special value that comes from raw emotions and raw singing. And I don't think I see it a lot nowadays in Korean ballads or songs. But I really respected her for having that value and saying that was important to her. She said she just sings the way the lyrics are. She doesn't think hard about 강약 조절. She doesn't try and make her voice sound amazing at all times. And I don't know, I just really love that. So I guess in a way, if you have been through something similar to the lyrics, then the emotions are bound to come through. And I know that there are vocal techniques that make the emotion, that heightens the emotion. There are vocal techniques that make it sound as though the person is actually really sad and feeling those emotions. But to be honest, a lot of those vocal techniques feel fake now. Those emotions sound and feel fake. And I guess I really miss, and I really like the songs where the emotions are raw and there isn't much retouching done with the singing. So yeah, I really liked her song. And then I'm trying to think if there was anybody else who stood out to me. I've seen Psy so many times now. And like, of course, I enjoy his stages, but really, like three songs, they're enough. And whenever people scream at him to not leave, I'm just like, come on, people, let's let him leave. Go to his concert if you want to hear him so much. This is a ballad con. Honestly, I would feel happy just listening to ballads like for 3-4 hours. I don't need to jump. I don't need fast songs. So yeah, it was nice seeing him again. He definitely made everyone happy, like the audience. And then I think that's it with the people that stood out to me, because there were a few more people, but I don't think those people stood out to me as much. The fact that I can't remember them right now. 변진섭님, like, he's so legendary, right? He's like so legendary and so famous. But unfortunately, I really don't like that first song they sang together. And then, oh my gosh, 너에게로 또다시? I think that's the title. That was beautiful to listen to. And I guess I was really happy that my curiosity was satisfied. Like, I'd always been curious of how he sounds like as a singer. But I think that's one of the biggest charms and strong points about 성시경's 자 오늘은 concert. It's that you go for one person and you get to listen to so many amazing artists. And how hard it's so hard, it's almost impossible to go to every one of those artists' concert, right? Like, if not only I can't do that financially and physically and emotionally, but also I don't like those artists as much to know all their songs and go to their concert, go through the ticketing and actually sit there and enjoy the concert, because I don't know all of their songs, but I have always been curious of what they sounded like. I wanted to hear them live. So for me, these kind of concerts are just such a blessing, because I go for 성시경, so I'm guaranteed a good time, and then I get to hear all these legends, and they sing duets with 성시경. Like, it was so amazing, and I really, really loved it. And then 성시경 sang the last song that he always sings, his debut song, and honestly, until he said that he would sing that song, I totally forgot that he always does this thing where he walks around the walkways, right? I totally forgot. So the emotions just like, whoa, they came right up instantly, and I was like, oh my goodness, he's actually gonna come this way, because we were sitting pretty much in the walkway. And so I sat there and I was like, my goodness, I can't believe I actually got this good seat. I wasn't even trying to get that good seat. It's crazy. I don't know how these things happen to me. So yeah, I coincidentally got an amazing seat, and both my friend and I got to see 성시경 up close, and it was beautiful. Yeah. I don't even know like how I'm gonna do ticketing next time. I feel like the more I ticket for his concerts, the more things I think about. Like, now I'm gonna always try to sit on the ledge. Now I'm always gonna try and sit near the walkway, which I don't like. I don't like being tied to those things. Like, I want to be free when I go to concerts. I want to not think about where I'm sitting. I just want to enjoy. And I think I'll start going with people now. Like, it was actually so nice going with a friend. I tend to go to these concerts alone, but it was really nice going with her. Really nice. I think we'll try and go to the end of the year one together as well. And because the end of the year one is 성시경, there will be fan club privileges. So I will be able to get good seats, I hope. But for me now, good seats aren't about sitting at the front.
like I did that at the second concert. So my first concert, I was coincidentally blessed with that walkway that I actually had no idea of that it would happen. And the second concert, I sat really close to the front, and I got to see him close up. But after my third concert, I realized sitting at the front is not as good as sitting a little bit further back and center. If you sit at the front, sure, you get to see his face close up, but you don't actually get to enjoy the full concert experience, like with the lighting and the stage directions and everything. So I realized the best seating is actually maybe second floor, but front second floor. So it's second floor near the front. Although we we were actually like, so there were 3 sections: the floor section, the closest to the stage, and then right behind that was another section, and then the walkway, and then our section. And so we were actually at the furthest section, but just the front row of the furthest section. So maybe that's the best place to be. And I feel like I saw a video of his end of year concert from last year, and I think he had it in the same arena, same stadium, which means if I get similar seats, like front row walkway, I can probably see him close up again end of the year as well. I think I might try that, actually, because it really wasn't bad enjoying the concert from that far back. Although, like, my friend was amazing. She was amazing, right? She was so well mannered as an audience member, and I remember mentioning this in the first recording after the fan meeting, that I'm so sensitive when it comes to concert audience manners. But there was somebody behind us, like, singing along, and I almost but I told myself, chill, it's not that deep. Because, to be honest, she only sang like the first line, and then she would listen. And I told myself, is it really worth it? Is it really worth it for you to turn around and tell that person to not sing along? Is it really worth it? Will you really feel good for ruining someone's concert experience? Let them be. Everyone enjoys concerts in a different way. Yes, I had that really mature mindset, and I stopped myself. To be honest, if you're not going with a friend and you're going alone, I would totally suggest sitting at the front. I think I mentioned this in the second recording as well. But because I was with a friend, and because I am planning to be with that friend next concert, I think I will try again for similar seats. Yeah. Anyways, oh my goodness, it's past 2 a.m. I didn't think I'd talk this much, but I did. And I don't know if I'll upload this whole thing raw. I've talked so much about the charm of being raw, so I probably will upload this raw. But yeah, I really enjoyed it, and I will come back with another recording probably after the 4th concert, the end of year concert. And I think it's been nice just kind of liking one singer and going to their concerts. Like, I'm very mellow as a fangirl now. I definitely can't do the same thing I did many, many years ago. But I definitely see the joy that comes from going to a concert of a singer you love. So, good night, everyone, and I hope you listen to some great Songsingyong songs and have good dreams and sleep well, and I hope tomorrow is a beautiful day. And yeah, I'll talk to you again next time. Goodbye. Good night.